Okay, so I am going to share screen quickly because so we have coming briefly to introduce herself. I think is probably what the only thing we'll have time for, but she will be back later. Is Julia Black, and Julia Black can be found on her Lights on Universe website. She can tell you more because I do know, Julie, your things change their names occasionally, and um, be a bit of a job keeping up. But anyway, I'm going to just spotlight you, Julia. So
Thank you.
welcome. Thank you for joining us. And Julia's also spoken at the Learn Free Conference and at the Home Educating Families Festival. And I've got to know Julia and really appreciate what she brings because she's a thinker, and I always enjoy hearing what's coming out of your brain, Julia.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Thank you for that introduction. Yeah, it's been really nice listening to people beforehand. So, yeah, thank you. Yes, just to clarify on where you can find me at the moment, because you said it changes. It's lightsonuniverse.com, and on socials, I am the Lights On Mum. But shall I start then just a bit of intro to my experience of home ed, Juliet? Is that
Yes,
the
yes.
right
And
place? And then
I'm
maybe
just
one
going.
point, because I know I've only got a few minutes.
That's fine. I'm actually just going to check with Harriet because Harriet's on next, and then I think we have a little bit of a, yeah. So we have a little bit of a margin after Harriet. So if Harriet is agreeable, we will let you talk a little longer, until about 11:40.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
no worries. Just wrap me up when you need to.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I kind of like to say I've flexed the education system every which way for my children, and my guiding kind of light has always been their well-being, their mental well-being, and really taking that as my guide as to what to do. And that started, my daughter's now 22. She's in her final year at university doing natural sciences. My son is 18. He's just about to, 19 actually. He's just about to start doing maths at Manchester. So my journey to this began when my daughter was 4. And I realized that even though both my children are neurotypical, they were going to get bored. She was getting very bored very, very quickly. So that's how I kind of came into flexing the system. Started with flexi schooling, and then we went on a family adventure when she was 7, took them both out, saw their learning explode, which was really exciting. And then at 9, it got to a crisis point where it was like, okay, she said, you might as well send me to prison every day. That's what it feels like. And so I took both of them out and I actually set up a creative learning center for homeschooling children. So that was back in 2013. And I began to see children en masse come into my center. So I've been a parent home educating, I've been an educator working with home educated children, and I've also worked with schools. And I've got my own educational philosophy and approach, but a huge advocate for doing what is right for our children based on their mental well-being, because I don't think you can divorce the two. Mental well-being and learning go hand in hand. So yeah, that's my sort of route in to the home ed conversation.
And what has it done for you, home educating your children? Because I know that you've done a huge growth thing yourself.
Yeah, well, I guess I was a filmmaker, documentary filmmaker, and realized that being a mother and also then solving my children's happiness when it came to learning made me make a choice. And so I put I've never really put my filmmaking hat down because I still love telling stories visually. But what it did for me, and I know this is something you love, Julia, is it just opened up. It suddenly, from feeling a little bit stifled with my own creative energy, if I wasn't going to make films anymore, it allowed me to almost jump into the learning process at the same time. And I think that is the gift of home education. I think we as parents can be learners alongside. So I always talk to the mothers that I coach. It's not about teaching. It's not even really about content. For me, it's about who we are being as a learner. And when we, as the parent, jump on into that adventure at the same time, we become the best role models because we can then role model sort of, hitting obstacles, coming up against challenges. We can role model finding something we're passionate about and diving into that. We can develop our own mindset, and have really, really honest conversations around what learning is. So for me, rather than what are we going to learn, how are we going to learn it, when are we going to learn it, and where are we going to learn it, it's like, who are we being as learners, whether we're at home, school, out in the world, wherever. That is really the important question that I explore with my body of work. And my simple metric for us to kind of know, like, who are we being? Are we being lights on? And you see it in our eyes. It's like our lights come on and we are passionately engaged. We are taking ownership and full responsibility. We are following something that we love to do and really leading our own learning. But we're also really courageous when we hit challenges. I think this is the key with Lights on Learning, which is the name of my approach. When you lead with your heart, whether you're an adult or a child, you become the most courageous learners. And sometimes what parents and educators do is they start with the mindset. I start with the heart set, because then actually the mindset is much easier. It might lag and it might not want to come along, and it might have some tantrums along the way, but boy, will it follow. It absolutely will follow when you lead with your heart. And then as a result, so I have heart set, mindset, and skill set. The relevant skill set. I've heard some people talking about, they didn't want to do the maths until they realized, actually, I want to jump the maths hurdle of the GCSE. So they locked in and they got the skills needed. So leading with your heart, when you see your lights coming on, you absolutely will develop as learners faster than anything. And here's I know we're short on time, but the one takeaway I would love parents to take away from this is not to make the mistake I made when I first kind of started working with children on a school site. I had a centre on a school site, which is to not think disengagement is a problem. Disengagement is not a problem. It is the biggest opportunity you're likely to get to grow as learners. And it's a signal. It's a signal for something you're feeling something and you've got some thoughts behind that is taking you into a fear zone, out of your comfort zone. But when you use the lights off signal as your guide, that again is when learning takes off on a whole new level. Yeah, I think I've squeezed quite a lot in there.
You have, well done. And I think what I will do, because Harriet said she will have to go off soon, so I will bring her in, and we may have some buffer time. If you're still in, we can have some other chats, because the conversations has been amazing. So I'm going to
Yeah, no problem.
we
Thank you.
we're going to come back to you, Julian. Thank you so much for being willing to join us more than once today. I appreciate it.
Not